Hello everyone and welcome to FreeCAD tutorials. In this tutorial, we explain how to correctly create gear assemblies in FreeCAD. First, we will explain how to create the smaller gear, which is usually called as pinion, and then we will explain how to create this larger gear. Then we will explain how to create the support. And finally, we will explain how to create the gear assembly. The gear assembly enables you to animate the motion of gears. Namely, if I move the smaller gear, you will see how the motion is being transferred to the larger gears. You can also add bearings over here and you can actually model a complete gear reducer. And in this way, you can create amazing animations and you can test or validate your models in FreeCAD. So let's immediately start. To be able to design gears in FreeCAD, we first need to understand basic formulas. Consider this figure. The smaller gear is usually called as pinion and the larger gear is simply called as gear. Every gear has its center point. The center point of pinion is C1 and the center point of gear is C2. Then, every gear has a characteristic radius that defines the gear geometry. The name of this radius is pitch radius. The pitch radius of pinion is denoted as R1 and the pitch radius of gear is denoted as R2. The distance between C1 and C2 is denoted by S, and obviously from this figure, the distance S is R1 plus R2. The distance S is very important since this distance determines the distance between two shafts of the two gears. Next, let's explain how gears are designed in FreeCAD. First, let's denote the number of teeth of pinion as Z1 and the number of teeth of gear as Z2. When designing gears, we start from the desired gear ratio. The gear ratio is determined as the ratio of Z2 and Z1. Let's say that we want to have a gear ratio of 3. In that case, Z2 can be, for example, 30 and Z1 can be 10. In fact, starting from a gear ratio of, for example, 3, we can select, for example, Z1 and this determines Z2. Then, let's explain what is gear module. The gear module is a very important number that determines the geometry of gears. R1 can be expressed as m multiplying Z1 over 2 and R2 can be expressed as module multiplying Z2 over 2. Okay, let's summarize. When designing gears in FreeCAD, we will do the following. First of all, we will select a desired gear ratio. Let's say we want to go with a gear ratio of 3. Then we can randomly select the number of teeth, either Z1 or Z2. For example, if we select Z1 to equal to 10, then on the basis of desired gear ratio of 3, we will compute Z2 to be 30. Okay, in that way, we determine Z1 and Z2. Next, we need to select the gear module. Usually, there are standard values of the gear module, and they can be also selected by using some stress and strain formulas, and which we will not cover in this video tutorial. So you can, for example, by yourself select a standard value of the gear module, which can be, for example, 2.5. Then, what will happen behind the scenes? FreeCAD will design gears. That is, it will determine R1 and R2 using these formulas, and then it will also determine the geometry and the shape of gears using some other formulas which are not explained over here. Of course, there is another selection parameters, and not only one, there are also other selection parameters. However, the modulus or the module, Z1 and Z2 and the gear ratio can be used for beginners to design gears, and we will follow that approach. Okay, let's start with modeling. First, click on File, and over here, click on New, and let's click over here. And let's add the first body. Click on Part Design and click on Create Body. Next, let's create our pinion. To create the pinion, first of all, click on Part Design and then click on Involute Gear and click here. And immediately this menu will pop up. Over here, you need to select the number of teeth. Let's say that we want to have a gear ratio of 3. And let's select Z1 to be 10. Okay. Then we are going to use the standard value of module, and we are not going to change these other parameters. And let's click OK. And here's our gear. Good. Let's now extrude this shape by clicking over here. And then we can click here to extrude. However, you need to select first here and then here. Make sure that this is selected. And then extrude here. And let's extrude for, let's say, 10. OK. And let's click OK. Now we have extruded our pinion. Next, let's add the hole over here. To add the hole, make sure that body is selected and then click over here on Create Sketch and select this plane over here, let's say the XY plane, and here's the sketch. Click on Close. And now let's assign this sketch to this top surface. So click on this face over here, then click over here and click on Attach Sketch. And then over here from the drop-down menu, click on Sketch, which is this sketch, and click OK. And let's click OK. And now if we double click on Sketch, we are here at the top face of our pinion. Let's add a simple circle. Simply click here and then click here as a center and let's specify 10. OK, click Enter and do the right click and click on Close. Next, let's create a hole by clicking on, basically, you can click on this sketch and then over here you can find Create a Hole, and then let's specify the hole diameter to be 10. And then let's keep the depth 25, click OK. And now if you rotate, you will see that the hole is being created. Good. This is our pinion. Next, let's design our main gear. For that purpose, I'm going to click over here to make body of the first gear invisible. Then I will click here. Then I will click on Part Design and I will create second body. However, for simplicity, let's rename this body over here. We can simply, let me do it like this. And then you can actually rename it by doing right click and rename, and let's call it as pinion. Okay, and let's call this gear by doing this and rename as gear. Okay, so this is our second body, and let's continue. To create the gear, double click on gear, make sure that it's completely green by clicking somewhere outside of this field, and then let's click on Part Design and then click on Involute Gear. And here's the menu. Since we selected the Z1 to be 10 and the gear ratio to be 3, the value of Z2 should be 30. So enter 30 and keep other parameters as their default values and click on OK. Now we have our involute gear. The next step is to extrude this. To extrude this, double click on gear and make sure that it's being selected as green, then click on involute gear 001 and then find this pad option, and then over here select 10. And here we are. The next step is to create a hole for the support. To do that, simply click on gear, then over here double click on it and make sure that it's always green, then click here to create a sketch, select this plane and click on Close. Next, let's attach this sketch to this top face. To do that, simply select the top face, then click here and click on Attach Sketch. From the drop-down menu, select Sketch 001 and click on OK and click on OK. Then double-click on Sketch 001 and let's create a circle. To create a circle, simply click here and click on Create Circle by Center. Place the center at 0 and 0 and specify the radius of 10. Note over here that we are not properly constraining everything. However, we are doing it deliberately in order to save time. In practice, you should be more careful when doing sketches. You have to properly constrain all the things. So let's click on Close and let's create the hole. To create a hole, simply click on Sketch and then over here find the hole option. Specify the radius to be 10 and let's keep the default values as they are, and here we are. Okay, now we have our main gear. You can actually click here on this eye and you'll see that the gears overlap. However, this is not important since we will create a new assembly and they will not overlap. So click on both these I buttons, that is deselect visibility, and let's continue further. Next, let's create the base. Click on part design and click on create body. Right click over here, click on rename and call it as base. Next, let's create a sketch. Make sure that base is green, then click here and then select the plane. Let's select the XY plane. From here, click on OK. Then we can turn the grid on and let's model the base. I will model the base as a simple rectangle. So click here, click on centered rectangle, center it at 0, 0, and let's select, for example, these dimensions. So let's say 120 and 20 and do the right click. Of course, this is not fully constrained. However, I'm not going to waste time constraining this. You can constrain by yourself very easily. The next step is to extrude this. So click on close, click on sketch over here, and then click on here to extrude, and let's set the extrusion distance to be, for example, 5, and click on OK. The next step is to create the circular supports for our joints. So let's click here, then click on create sketch, select XY plane, click on close, and let's map this plane to this top face. Click on the top face, then click on from the drop-down menu, click on attach sketch. And now from here, select sketch 003. And here we are, click on OK, and then double click on sketch, and let's do the following. First of all, we need to sketch our circles or create circles. So click here, but before you do that, make sure that you select the grid here, and over here in this drop-down menu, specify, or actually here in this drop-down menu, put, let's say, the grid spacing to be 5. Okay, good. Click on OK. Next, let's create circles. Click here, click on create circle by center and place the circle on this line and specify the radius to be 10. This is the first circle. Then do the same thing over here, place it somewhere over here, and again specify the radius to be 10. Next, we need to constrain the distance between the centers of these two circles such that this distance is equal to this S distance over here. Here I created a simple Python script that calculates S based on the formula we explained previously. This is the modulus Z1 and Z2 values we previously selected, and then I'm using the formulas to compute R1 and R2, and then simply S is R1 plus R2, and here you can see S to be 50. Good. Now what I will do here, I will go back to my FreeCAD and I will do the following. I will click on the center of this circle, then I will press and hold Control and click on the center of the second circle. So here you should click, and then what I will do, I will click here and I will constrain vertical distance. Here as a vertical distance, I will go slightly above, let's say, 50 value. To allow a little bit more spacing between gears, I will go, let's say, around, let's say, 50.5 millimeters, or you can even do 51. Let's do 51, and let's click OK. Now let's make these gears to be symmetric with respect to this, or actually these circles to be symmetric with respect to this point, or this horizontal line. So let's click here, then press and hold Control, click on this point, then do here, and click on Constrain Vertical Distance. And this vertical distance should be basically 51 divided by 2, that's 25.5. So it should be 25.5, and let's click OK. And now everything is nicely done. Click on Close, and now let's extrude this. Click here, and then let's do the following. Let's now click on this part, and let's extrude for 10 millimeters. And let's click on OK, and that's it. Good. Now we have our pinion, gear, and base, and we can create. To create the assembly, click here and activate the assembly menu. Now we are in the assembly menu. Next, click here to create assembly. and you can see that the assembly folder is created. Next, this option will be activated. That is, we can insert the component. So click on the Insert Component button and then first click on Base. However, let me just show you one more thing. Click on Cancel over here before you do that, and over here in this base, you need to deselect this part to make everything invisible, right? So make all the three things invisible, then go back to Assembly, then click here, and then click here on Base. And then click here, yes. Basically, you always need to fix the base, and this will automatically fix the base. Click on yes. And now click on Pinion and move the pinion somewhere over here. And then click on Gear and move the gear, let's say, somewhere over here. Oops, I didn't move it well. I can move it later on. And let's click on OK. That's it. And now we can move it by ourselves later on over here. Note what's happening over here. We have base, pinion 01, and gear 001. Next, let's start creating joints. We actually need 3 joints. We need, first of all, the revolute joint between this gear and this support. That is between the pinion and this support. Then we need the same thing. We need this revolute joint between the main gear and its support, and then we need to create between the 2 gears gear assembly. So let's start doing things. First of all, click on this top circle of our pinion, then press and hold Control and click on this top circle of the support, and then click over here, create revolute, and you can see how nicely everything is aligned. And let's click on OK, and then if you move this gear, you can see how nicely it rotates around its support. Let's do the same thing for the main gear. Click on this circle, then press and hold Control, click on this circle, and then again click over here, and here they are. Good. Click on OK, test this revolute joint, it moves. However, the issue is that when I move this gear, the rotational motion is not being transferred to the smaller gear. This means that we need to create the pinion, or actually we need to create the gear assembly. Here you can actually do the following. Rotate this gear slightly like this, right? Such that it kind of nicely matches and the gears or the teeth do not overlap. And then let's do the following. First of all, over here, you need to select gears. Let's do that. Select pinion, press and hold Control, select gear, and then over here find this menu or this button, Create Gear or Belt Joint. Expand and click on Create Gear Joint. And you can see now that both gears are being added over here. And then you need to specify the radius. Let's go back to our calculations and let's see what is R1. R1 is, let's say, 12.5. So let's copy this value and paste it here. And the other value is, let's see, R2, 37.5. So let's do that. Now, over here, if these two numbers do not match, you might have to shift, because depending on which one is first selected, pinion or gear 1, you might have to translate or swap these numbers. Let's click on OK, and let's see what will happen. Now, if I move the gear, you will see how nicely everything is being transferred. And that's it. We created our gear assembly. To make things to look more interesting, let's click here on base and do the right click and click on random color to assign any color, and do that to the pinion 001, do the random color, and over here to gear, right click and assign a random color. And now we have our gear assembly. Looks really nice. Okay, that's all for today, and thanks for watching.